My past videos of the local foxes have not been high-definition videos, and I wanted to improve the quality of my pictures along those lines. Neighboring dogs were also getting the food which I had left for the foxes, and leaving their scent, making it very difficult to attract the foxes. I also do not own any remote-controlled cameras or an HD trail camera, if such a thing exists. The dog problem has abated, and I have slowly been able to attract foxes back to my yard where I can video them through the kitchen window. Even with the foxes coming by much more frequently, I still have a problem of leaving meat outside long enough for a fox to find it. Coyote sightings might very well be the reason for the scarcity of fox visits for several days in a row. Coyotes prey on fox kits whenever they can find them. The first fox I saw in my yard several years ago was eating some peanuts which my wife had put out for the squirrels. I decided that if I used peanuts for fox food, I would not have to worry about the meat rotting if not eaten promptly, or even feeding the unwelcome possums and raccoons which come by at night and try to rob my bird feeders. Peanuts worked. Here we see a black-legged fox enjoying a snack of peanuts. The high definition really helps since we can see the fox's eyes very well. I think I've seen this particular fox a number of times, but I can't be sure, since the black legs could be a family trait passed on to succeeding generations. We know we've seen at least 2 other adult foxes recently, since their coloration is noticeably different. It's not possible to use the coloration for identification in anything but a current year. The fox's coat gets more dense for winter, and then they shed those heavy coats in the spring. Some coat color changes also occur at the same time. I have seen a fox in the process of losing his winter coat, and the front half of the animal was bright red-orange, while the unshed back half was much darker. I have read that it is not unusual for foxes' territory to overlap, especially when there's a high density of fox population. Here in the wooded area of Prince William County, Virginia, where zoning restrictions require the minimum size of a residential lot to be 10 acres, there are many foxes. I have seen them crossing the highway, with an occasional failure to cross safely. Several times I've walked out of my house and surprised a fox in my yard, but they quickly retreat into the woods. Today, sometime after this video was shot, I saw another adult fox come up through the woods behind my house, but it was reluctant to come as near to the grassy yard as the other foxes seemed perfectly willing to go. I assume then that this is another individual and not one of the 3 I have identified in my brief videos. Since I'm doing a voiceover on the audio track of the video and the camera was recording through the window from outside the house, you could not hear the air conditioning outside unit come on, but you might have noticed the fox's startled reaction at one point. He didn't run away, though, so I assume he's heard that same sound many times and was not concerned, just momentarily startled. Foxes are often associated with rabies, and of course they can get the disease. However, domestic dogs account for the greater number of cases by far. I think this is because dogs are more aggressive towards other animals than foxes. Foxes are not so nearly likely to challenge a raccoon in its territory as a dog. I suspect the fox cases of rabies are much more likely due to a fox preying on an infected rodent. Foxes have a reputation of being killers. It's true, and if you have a chicken house, you need to protect your chickens from foxes. They are not wasteful creatures, but will kill all the chickens and take them away one at a time to bury for a later meal. Foxes are perhaps the most common mammal predator living close to mankind, and they are handsome animals, but they are not your friend.